Well, for more on this, we'll turn now to France 24's Rome correspondent, Seema Gupta. Seema, in Rome, none of the candidates got 50%. Now there's a runoff between the center-right and center-left. How are things looking in Rome?
Well, very clearly, as you mentioned, people in Rome have rejected Virginia Raggi, the current mayor. Essentially, she was the first woman, the youngest ever mayor when she came into this position 5 years ago, heralding change from the anti-establishment five-star movement. But clearly, the degrado or decay in Rome that Romans complain about continues with stories of trash piling up on the streets, buses bursting into flames, those potholes on the roads. People were frustrated, and she really only got under 20% of the vote. Now, at the moment now, we are going to see that runoff vote, as you mentioned, basically between the center-right candidate, Enrico Michetti. He's a lawyer and a radio commentator in his campaigning, harking very much to ancient Rome in terms of what he wants to see this city reach. So he will be in that runoff, and he will be fighting for that position against Roberto Gualtieri from the center-left Democratic Party. He's a former finance minister taking on this role to become the next mayor of Rome. That runoff expected on the 17th and 18th of October between these two candidates, and we'll have to wait and see who actually wins that one.
And Seema, Rome, of course, wasn't the only city to hold these municipal elections. Over 1,000 other cities and towns in Italy also took part. What might the other results reveal about support levels for the different parties, even on a national level?
Well, what we're seeing is that you've got this situation where the five-star movement clearly seems to have suffered because, of course, they lost in Rome as well as in Turin. Both cities are expected to see a runoff in the coming weeks. And so once the National Party back in 2018, they won the largest share of votes. This time around, clearly not doing so well. The center-left claiming lots of victories. They've won in Milan, but also in Bologna and in Naples. But in Bologna and Naples, they won working together with the five-star movement. So clearly, they're thinking perhaps grouping together. That way, they can push out those center-right and right-wing parties. That's what they think. But the other interesting point to note in terms of these municipal elections is that we saw a significant drop in voter turnout. 1 in 2 voters just didn't turn up to vote. Now, that's a record low for Italy. So perhaps people are frustrated, disenfranchised, uninterested in these elections because, of course, nationally, you have Prime Minister Mario Draghi, an independent, running this pandemic situation, a broad coalition government, and is pushing ahead with his ideas. This former head of the European Central Bank, a technocrat, seems to have the popularity across the board, maybe perhaps frustration in terms of those individual parties, but it'll be interesting to see what happens in those runoff elections, both here in Rome, but in Turin and Trieste as well.
Indeed, especially given all those different factors that you mentioned. Seema Gupta, we'll have to keep it there for now. Thank you so much for that update.